Okay, so here we are in the hothouse. I really wanted to get a few vegetables in just to say that I had a few in the hothouse because it's nowhere near time for the tomatoes to go in here yet. So we've got some spring onions in there. We've got some beetroot to go in. And we've got some iceberg lettuce to go in as well. So let's see how we go with these. Okay, so we've got the onions up the back here, we've got beetroot in the centre, and we've got some iceberg lettuces down the front here. You might say they're planted a bit too close, but I tend to like the vegetables very young. The iceberg lettuces, I like them just as leaves. So now what I'm going to do is find my little spray gun, just pump it up, because I'm only using this because I just want a light spray on them to stop any transplant shock. So what we're going to do is just give them a fairly light spraying. We might even turn that down. We might even just turn that down a little, that's better. Just a misting. Stand here for a few minutes and do this. And that'll stop transplant shock. Haven't had a hothouse for a couple of years and looking forward to getting the tomatoes in up and around the edges here, but that won't be for a little while yet. So we'll concentrate on getting some lettuce growing and some beetroot there and some spring onions. Okay, even though it's getting on a bit in the afternoon, it's about 5 o'clock, I think we'll go over for an hour and try to get a bit of ploughing done. The ground's just right over there at the moment, so if we can get over there and get a bit done, that'll be just fantastic, because hopefully it stays dry and it'll be right on Monday to put some potatoes in. Let's go and see. It's a lovely bit of soil in here where we're going to put these pink eye potatoes, so hopefully we can get it done and get a few in on Monday. Right, well, it's wet out there, very wet indeed. Still drizzling. We've had about 6 mils of rain overnight, which was on the edge of whether we was going to plant potatoes or not. We've had probably another 4 mils so far this morning. It's been raining fairly steadily and it's still quite drizzly out there, so there won't be any potato planting today. But we do have a couple of blueberry bushes that I picked up yesterday from the nursery. We might go and stick those in. It won't take very long, and get those going and then do a bit over in the hothouse. Right, so I've got a couple of holes dug here in line with where we put the other fruit trees, where we're trying to resuscitate them again. Now this hole here, as you can see, I've dug it as much as I can into a square, not an actual round hole. And the reason for that is that if you dig round holes into fairly solid dirt, when it gets dry, the roots tend to just to follow the hole around in a circle and they tend to get root bound. Whereas if you dig a square hole, the roots tend to push themselves through the walls of the hole into the ground, and they spread the roots out more. So that's why we actually dig square holes here, because in summer it does get fairly hard. Okay, so let's get these in, let's get them fertilised. Right, there you go, we've got them in there. We've got the sulphate of potash around and the pellets of chicken manure. They should go great. Now we'll just put a couple of old milk crates over the top of them just to protect them, and away we go. Anyway, we'll just go over here and I'll show you exactly how the ground that we dug up last night is going. And it's not going real good at the moment because it is wet. We was going to put potatoes in. Have a look at that. I think she's a bit wet to be putting potatoes in there today, that's for sure. So we'll leave it for a few more days. Hopefully at some stage in the coming week or two, we'll start to get a few really nice days. So then we can just go bang, whack them in, and once they're in there, they're right. But it's mainly, the main big problem is the tractors getting over there. They'll compact it down, they'll fill up their treads with mud, and all it does is make a complete mess. So it's best if we just wait and give it a bit of a break and wait for some nice weather. If we'd have done it last night, we'd have been right, but you don't want to be out here at midnight trying to put potatoes in. Anyway, I've got Lily in there waiting for me to get back in the ute, and we'll head off home out of it. Right, so we're back in the hothouse because it's raining, and it's rained pretty much all night, so we might as well do something in the hothouse here, I guess. I've got quite a few little tomato seedlings going here, but they don't seem to be advancing like I would like them to. So what I'm going to try to do is actually put them into some soil in the hothouse here, keep them fertilised, keep them watered, and hopefully by show day, which is the traditional tomato planting day, they'll be big enough to transplant then. So yeah, that's another job on a rainy day. I think what was happening was that the soil medium we had them in wasn't holding water enough, because after you went down, you know, about 1 centimetre into the root system, it was really dry. And I think the soil that we've got in here in the hothouse now is a lot better mix, and I think we'll be able to get these seedlings going a lot better and then transplant them out. We've got enough room down here for another 4 or 5 early tomato plants, so we might duck in and see if we can get some tomorrow down at the nursery. See, hopefully they might still have some. I haven't been down there today, so hopefully they might still have some. And once we get those in, the whole hothouse that we've recently constructed will be full up with vegetables, summertime vegetables, which is just fantastic. So now all we've got to do is wait for our new one to come, whack that up. It's been shipped today, so that's pretty good news. So once we get that up, we'll whack some soil in there. We won't do the walkway bit that we've got here. We'll just completely fill it up with soil, and we'll have 3 rows of tomatoes in there. So that'll work out really good. Okay, so it's about lunchtime. We better go and have a bite to eat, something to drink, and see what trouble we can get ourselves into then.